Smoke on the Mac wasn't a new application for us, but this new generation of Smoke on the Mac is very different and very new from the first generation of Smoke on the Mac. Some of the first really striking change is the application itself. So it's a much more accessible from a usability and a user interface perspective. So it's a, you know, it looks like a Mac application, it functions like a Mac application, and for people who are accustomed to using Final Cut Pro, you know, it's very, you know, whereas the previous version of Smoke on the Mac wasn't exactly intuitive, and you know, we got a lot of feedback that fundamentally it was a very challenging application to work with, whereas the new this newly announced version of Smoke on the Mac is really, especially for people who are used to editing, you know, all the conventions, all the types of functionality and usability you would expect. That's absolutely what you get now. So one thing that was really exciting about it was the usability. Second thing that was exciting about it is the fact that in terms of the Mac platform that you need to use, the first generation of Smoke on the Mac, it required you know, you still needed to make an important investment in terms of hardware to even be able to use that version of Smoke on the Mac. The new generation of Smoke on the Mac, you know, it runs on an iMac, it can run on a MacBook Pro, so very accessible for, you know, for a much more kind of accessible investment from a hardware perspective. With Apple, you know, you're going to be able to use Smoke on the Mac 2013. You know, what's exciting for us about that is, you know, this is going to allow a whole new user base, completely different set of users than the ones that, you know, have traditionally been customers of the media and entertainment, especially the creative finishing space. So, you know, these are the types of users that we're targeting are people who've been using Final Cut Pro previously. And by the way, we don't see Smoke on the Mac as being, you know, we're not positioning it as a replacement for Final Cut Pro, but really it's a complementary product to Final Cut Pro. And so this is, so on that basis, you know, we're talking about people who are doing corporate videos, people who are doing training videos, you know, those types of projects who, you know, those people were probably using Final Cut Pro, and then they were using a number of third-party applications that actually, when you added up that whole investment, you know, all those other third-party applications that you probably wanted to use to be able to get the end result you were looking for, you know, Smoke on the Mac is going to be a great alternative for those people. Honestly, I think one of the biggest milestones is the fact that we actually made it to 20 years to celebrate our 20th anniversary of Flame. Because I think the reality is that there are a lot of applications out there that, you know, for a moment in time, they meet a specific need to their customers, but you know, one of the big challenges in technology is to remain relevant to your customers and to always be delivering against the latest set of needs and trends going on in the business. And so, you know, truly from my perspective, that has to be one of the most exciting accomplishments in terms of Flame. And honestly, you know, when you go through the years, all of the technology breakthroughs that we've made with Flame, it'd be tough to pick just one. So when we decided to come out with suites, the entertainment creation suites, you know, we knew that it needed to be more, what we brought to market in terms of suites needed to be more than just taking a bunch of products and putting them in a box. There needed to be some value add in terms of the suite. And clearly the one area where we could really make a difference was absolutely in the area of interoperability, but interoperability that was really easy to use. And I'm sure you're probably familiar with the work that we did in terms of the one-button workflow where, you know, literally with the press of a button, you transfer content out of one application, out of one project effectively, and go straight into the other project, and it's there. You don't have to export and then import and do all those things. I think that's been a level of interoperability that's really resonated with our customers, and it's resonated because it's made it so much more efficient and easy for them to work. The other area that we've been working on is for people who are, look, each of these applications grew up separately with their own unique flavor and kind of functionality. But the reality is, for somebody who has spent their career in Macs and now wants to do certain other types of activities in a different application, you still want to be able to have that functionality in terms of hotkeys and in terms of workflow and that you were accustomed to in Macs in the other applications. So one of the areas that we've been working, can take the example of hotkeys, where, you know, the hotkeys in the other application will work exactly the way they did when you were working in Macs. So, you know, it's sometimes some of these things sound by themselves to be maybe not such a big deal, but when you take them all together and you think about the productivity savings that they can represent, it really makes a big difference for our customers. To state the obvious in terms of the young students of today who, you know, have all of the applications, the media and entertainment applications in one place, they don't care. They don't care if it's Maya or Mac. You know, they're not, you know, oh, well, I'm a Maya user, so I only like to use. They don't care. They're very interested and happy to kind of use one application, put it aside, use another application, and, you know, kind of the conventions of one application don't become a limitation in terms of wanting to experiment and try the other one. And, you know, I think what we're going to see over time is some interesting cross-pollination in terms of the various technologies in those entertainment creation suites.